What is going on, guys? I'm back today to do something completely different than I've ever done before. But I thought that it was an interesting discussion. So the title of the video, I'll get into talking a little bit about what I'm going to discuss. But I've been thinking a lot lately about, art as a whole and like how we as a society now digest art and, the constant discussions about creativity and like in the current state of the world where everything is so easily digestible, and so easy to access, I guess, more than anything else, that the content seems to be more dumbed down. And that, when it comes to movies and art and music, a lot of times that the depth and the thought-provoking nature of what we seek in art to relate to is being diminished because everything is about easily consumable quick content. And I will say, as somebody who watches hundreds of movies a year, makes a video a day on YouTube, there are times that I can get a little jaded about modern art. Not saying I'm not someone who's going to tell you that there is no good art being made, because that's just dumb. There's plenty of incredible art out there. But there are moments where I really start to get upset and worried about the future of art and about what's going to be created. Like, are we still going to get fresh, new, and exciting content as the years go on and on? Things like, I think about, growing up, and I was a really isolated kid. Like, I was someone who I had a very easy time talking to people, and I could put myself out there, but I never really found people that I related to in a way that like loved and appreciated art in the same way that I did. And so it felt like a very isolating experience. And even into my adult years, sometimes you just feel isolated on your own planet, thinking like, does anyone else think this way about art? Like, do they want more, or are they okay with everything being just completely and totally streamlined? And I use TikTok every now and again. I was posting on TikTok pretty frequently, and it got to the point where the engagement just got really bad, and I just became disinterested with creating the content. So I haven't really uploaded anything there in a long time. But I do get on TikTok and scroll every once in a while and take a look at some creators. And I found this one creator who I'll tag down below in the comments, and the name of the page is Committee of Affairs. And I started watching their content pretty regularly, I'd say 5 or 6 months ago, somewhere in that range. And the first video that I watched, and I'll put somewhere up here an example so that you guys can see it.
They need to invent a way out that is not through.
I was completely and totally enthralled by what they were doing, because I feel like on TikTok, you get a culmination of very similar things. Like you'll have these periods in time where a song or something becomes very popular, and everyone is going to create content that is like that to fill up that space, and so that they can be in the algorithm, and that so people will watch it, and oftentimes that you can monetize it and make money because everybody's just trying to survive in this world. But what struck me about Committee of Affairs was how avant-garde the videos felt, and how, like, for some people it might feel like a random collection of images or sounds or things of that nature, but how profoundly impacted emotionally I was by things. And the videos a lot of times will end with like a goofy card of the creator saying something, but like typically, and I showed an example, but like the structure of the video is he or she, I don't know who runs the account, will take a popular viral video of someone saying something that, can convey thoughts about depression, suicidal ideation, anxiety, even things lighter and sillier and fun. And then we'll take a collection of images, sometimes from popular film, sometimes just from stock imagery, that seem to convey the same feeling in a really intense, palpable way, often accompanied by a really powerful piece of music. And I was on there, and I was thinking about my time in film school, and a lot of the artists that we would watch that would do more avant-garde, surreal art. And it put a smile on my face. And it was something where, as someone who can be jaded a lot of times about the creation of art, I just thought that it was really cool that a person is, taking these moments that, go viral sometimes, or sometimes just clips that they see that they think are relevant, and are able to create these really poignant pieces of art that I think stick with you for a long time after you watch them. And that's what really took me by surprise about this particular person's TikTok, is that the structure of these videos and how they convey their message to you just really pack a punch. And I've gone back and watched several of them multiple times, because I just think that it's really cool when you're able to do something as simplistic as take a collection of images that, can be simultaneously random, or they can all have a deeper meaning and a purpose, and to convey it to you in a way that will stick with you long after you've seen it. And I think that's the most important thing about art as a whole. And like, one of the things, like I said, when you feel isolated, or like that you can't connect with anyone, art is really there for you all the time. And there's been so many pieces of art throughout the years that I feel like, when I felt completely and totally alone on an island, have really carried me through some dark parts of my life. And like I said, there's moments where I just worry that, like, I'm never gonna find that again. Like, and there are good movies that come out, and there's always things that I look forward to, but I want to make sure that type of art stays alive and thrives. And so things like this give me a lot of hope for the future of art and the creation of art. And I just wanted to tell you guys a little bit about it today, because it's something I wouldn't normally talk about, but I just found it to be so incredibly fascinating. And if you have TikTok, I would go over there and check out one of those videos. I just thought it was really interesting and well put together, and I think you'll find it interesting as well. As always, everyone, thank you so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.